Hey everyone, in this video we'll be taking a look at the Viture One XR Glasses. These glasses are the more expensive variant of their XR Glasses lineup, with it coming in $100 more than their light version. For this review, we will dive into the difference between the two, as well as comparing them, at least spec-wise, to the competition. Now, the only other pair of XR glasses that I have are the Lenovo Legion glasses, which happen to get circles run around them by the Vitures. Now, before getting into all that, I want to give a disclaimer that the Viture One glasses and accompanying accessories were all sent to me free of charge directly from the manufacturer. There were no stipulations to the deal, and they have not seen any of this prior to it going live. No money changed hands at all, and none is expected from either party. The items are all mine to keep and not expected to be returned. With that being said, I will try my absolute best to remain impartial and attempt to go into this review with the mindset that I have purchased these and I'm in the return period evaluating if I would keep them or not. Now, as stated countless times in previous reviews, once the connection has been made of receiving a product for free, it is oftentimes hard to not look past certain flaws or areas of deficiency when compared to competitors. By acknowledging this point though before going into the review, it should help viewers reframe what type of horse I have in this race. The unboxing experience is very nice. It's well thought out, if not slightly over-engineered. But you know what, I don't care, because it's just plain fun to unbox these glasses and the whole kit that they sent over. If you are a lover of unique unboxings, you'll have some fun here. Now, going over absolutely everything that Viture sent over, we have the glasses themselves in black at $439, the Viture One neckband at $179, the mobile dock at $129, both mounts for said dock at $19 each. This is for the Switch and the Steam Deck. 50cm USB-C extension cable at $9, USB-C splitter at $39, stickers, pins, and the little pop grip things, they're about $9 each at $45. So magnetic USB-C adapter at $19, and then finally we have the limited edition shade covers. These are the Bacchia, I believe they're called, at $9, and they are the same price as the regular non-limited edition, so that's actually kind of cool. So this brings it up to a subtotal of $906 and this is on sale pricing. So currently I believe the glasses are about $50 to $100 off or something like that, and the accessories are kind of ranging in certain percentages off as well. So at that price, that is a lot of money. This is a lot of money. It's more than a Steam Deck, ROG Ally, and pretty much any other kind of mainstream handheld on the market. You could get a pretty competent laptop or even a desktop for this amount of money, and I don't want to downplay this point or even kind of raise a big stink about it. For a lot of people, myself included, this is a lot of money. To convert it over to Canadian dollars, it's just over $1,200. However, for what you are getting, at least the core components, it is quite competitive. You absolutely do not need the mobile dock or the stickers, pins, and any other bits and bobs. You may not even need the neckband, depending on your use case, and going one step even further, you may not even need the Pro or non-lite version of the glasses. And you could save an extra $100 there as well. What I'm trying to get across here is that these glasses, they are in the entire category which is expensive in and of itself, but you can bring down the cost some if you do not need certain features. However, in some cases it may make more sense to save up and go for the more expensive pair versus the lights. Either way, no matter the brand, this is not an off-the-cuff purchase. This is something that people would sit down and do some serious research into before pulling the trigger on their own set. Everything sent over from Viture, I must admit, screams quality. From the unboxing to the accessories, nothing felt cheap and everything just felt thought out. Speaking a bit further to this, alongside the 4 different types of notepads, with one seemingly more for kind of light blocking, they also include an optional silicone cover around the pogo port to aid in preventing hair from pulling it loose. Admittedly, if they had just had a regular USB-C port instead of the magnetic one, we wouldn't have this problem, much like on their light version. However, something can be said about the safety and security it brings from accidental harsh tugs. The included case is also another highlight in my opinion. Now, when compared to the case from the Lenovo Legion glasses, the Viture has a more rubberized feeling versus the cloth material found there. Inside is a perfectly molded nest for your glasses, as well as a pull-down door revealing storage for your cable, as well as a cloth. If you're wondering, yes, the USB-C splitter does fit in with some very gentle convincing, nothing too bad. Now, compared to the Legion, you don't lose any functionality per se, it's just simply that the Vitures are more premium feeling. Now, taking a quick peek at the glasses, the frame of them do feel quite sturdy. The arms are able to be extended outwardly by design to allow for the glasses to fit on a wide range of skulls, as well as it aids in both donning and doffing them. The weight is not bothersome in extended play, nor do any of the materials cause any sort of irritation, at least in my experience. Now, the plastic is smooth and the insides are not rubberized or textured to aid in grip, unlike the Legion glasses, in which the arms can be bent to curve around your ears a bit better. The Viture ones are in a fixed position, for better or for worse. Not that any of these glasses are cool or not geeky looking, the Vitures are definitely more subdued though than the Legion glasses I have on hand. Almost to the point that I think someone may be able to kind of mistake them for you wearing regular sunglasses. Just as a side kind of story here though, I was wearing the Legion glasses as well as my over-ear kind of noise cancelling headphones on an airplane not too long ago, and it was awesome, great experience. It would be a great experience with any XR glasses no matter what. But anyway, getting to the kind of point of this whole side story, the flight attendant that was kind of walking around doing the drink service and all that, every time they got to me, they just did not know how to interact with me because they had no idea what the hell I was doing. They knew that they weren't regular glasses, but they didn't know exactly what the hell was going on, if I was just like sleeping or if I was listening to music. Meanwhile, I had my controller there and I was just playing games on it, right? So, but yeah, so with the Vitures, I think somebody might be able to kind of easily mistake them for just kind of sunglasses. But yeah, the Legion glasses are definitely more like kind of futuristic-y, whatever looking. Anyway, moving into the accessories, the mobile dock feels just about the same weight and size as the battery bank. It's about 13,000 milliamp hour capacity and will give a claimed 6 hours of life when paired to the Nintendo Switch. This unfortunately will only power the Nintendo Switch or your Steam Deck though. On the flip side, with this dock, you can either input video from HDMI or the USB-C port in the center, and doing so you can split the image into two feeds so you and your partner can connect to the same dock with your own set of glasses playing multiplayer games. While this may be a highly kind of niche scenario in what is already a niche market, it is appreciated nonetheless that they're going full tilt into the accessories area. My only wish would be for an upgraded version supporting higher PD charging. Now, the plastic docks associated with them for attaching to the Steam Deck and the Switch, they feel okay. However, even though they have little spacers in between to kind of lift off the rear of the device, I am quite uncomfortable with how much it blocks the Steam Deck's vent. I did not notice any major issues, however the fan did appear to be working a bit harder. Now, one further point to the dock, I did indeed test it with the Legion glasses, and it worked all the same. The USB-C ports seem to just be regular old kind of DisplayPort capable, so if you have any other type of glasses or whatever you want to try and get a display onto, it should work no problem. No guarantees, but at least that was my kind of use case. Pivoting to the only other major accessory sent to me would be the neckband. Although this is not a must-have for some people, for many others it may be. What I mean is that some phones allow for easy display out through their ports. Now, whether it be USB-C or Lightning, but meanwhile, phones such as the Google Pixel lineup do not allow for video out via USB-C for some lame reason. What this means is if you have this pair of XR glasses or any other from any other brand, you may not be able to use it with your phone. With the neckband accessory, you can solve this issue. Built right inside the device itself is an Android 11 based operating system that offers easy access to popular streaming apps. While I didn't have to on my device, there does seem to be a process for getting Google apps, mainly the Play Store, on the neckband. Now, all of this is laid out in detail on their Viture Academy site. Now, once signed in to all of my apps, it was much like any other Google TV experience, if not a little cut back. You are able to sideload apps and play games natively on the device, however I would not recommend the latter. The neckband lasts a claimed 2 to 3 hours depending on whether you're streaming video or games. Now, this is some bit of software in the neckband to take advantage of the gyro sensors in the glasses, but nothing really wowing or game changing. You can pin the screen in place to look around and have it keep playing wherever it was dropped, and in theory this is awesome, but in practice it doesn't really work that well in my experience, nor would I really have much of a use case for it. But the other feature of the neckband is to quickly resize the content into a smaller window in any corner. This is activated with a double press of a button, designed in a way that if you were on a train or airplane and drink service came around, you wouldn't need to try and see through your content or even take the glasses off. And if you wanted to go an extra step further, depending on your audio setup, you could keep watching as you talk with the staff. A little rude in my opinion, but it is an option nonetheless. Speaking very quickly on the other accessory sent, the only ones I could truly recommend to purchase alongside the glasses would be a lens shade cover if you prefer a completely blacked out experience, the USB-C splitter adapter to allow for charging and viewing at the same time, or an iPhone adapter if required. I would say that although cool, the mobile switch dock thing is just not needed in my opinion, as the same could be achieved with a third-party solution such as the ones provided from Ugreen. The RevoDock 11-in-1, while quite overkill for the glasses alone, is a great accessory to have alongside your portable PC. With this dock, you can pass through enough charge to power the highest end of handhelds. In addition, if you have only one USB-C port, the RevoDock will give you an additional USB-C port. As well, there are 3 USB-A, an audio mic combo, SD full-size and micro SD slots, RJ45 port, and you will have 2 HDMI outputs to play with, and allowing you to achieve the same effect as long as you have the appropriate adapter, not supplied by Viture or Ugreen. I was able to get the DisplayPort out signal out of a different Ugreen dock, so in theory you should be able to set it up with HDMI as well. Even if the dock doesn't suit your needs though, Ugreen is likely to have one that you may be interested in. If you're looking for something to power your portable movie theater, why not take a look at their Ugreen Nexode line of chargers. These chargers are incredibly compact compared to their non-pro lineup, and essentially they were able to downsize their regular chargers into these pro sizes. So for instance, the 100 watt charger is now the size of a 65 watt charger. So it's absolutely incredible. I use the 100 watt charger daily as my go-to charge for my laptop and phone, and most anyone that sees it is quite impressed that it can power my laptop, seeing as it's not a Chromebook. But anyway, without going too far off in the deep end, if you are trying to make your own little kind of mobile dock situation with a mobile display and a means to power it, I do recommend you check out Ugreen, following the links below. While a setup like this might not be as elegant as the mobile dock from Viture, at least it is more broadly compatible. If you've seen my previous review on the Legion glasses or other content creators' videos reviewing the same or similar, you should have a decent sense of how these work. However, for those that are not aware, the quick and short of it is these glasses house 2 mini screens that are projected out and reflected to your eyes. The effective complete image is 1920 by 1080 at 60 Hz. This may not sound amazing, and quite frankly it is not, but what is amazing is that the displays are micro OLED, which means they are able to produce some very contrasty images due to the ability of being able to shut off each pixel for true black. If you have used the Steam Deck OLED, you know what you're getting into. In my opinion though, even with a reported 1800 nits of brightness, to which I can only assume they mean peak brightness levels, the content will still appear dim at times. This is largely in part due to the amount of light getting into the glasses. However, even with the shade applied and max brightness, it did not seem to be as bright as reported. Although I have no way of knowing for sure, don't get me wrong, they do get bright enough, but they simply cannot supply a true HDR signal, which would truly help here if the hardware supported it. This still will likely be one of the best screens in your home though. Unfortunately, I can't give a clean image of what any of this kind of looks like, but much like in my Legion video, I will do my best to give an example. Unlike the Legion glasses with the unofficial pro versions of the Viture ones we do have an electrochromatic film on the sunglass portions of the lens. This allows for a very cool tinting effect of the glasses, allowing for the screen to have an on-the-fly darker backdrop. This is far from 100% blackout, however, it is a marked improvement versus it being turned off. Additionally, you can purchase the clip-on cover, which acts as the blackout shade. This will give the best picture quality and brightness levels. Unless you're in a dimly lit room, I would use these mostly if I was playing a game. Otherwise, watching TV or movies casually is more than acceptable with the chromatic film. Now, hopefully what I've shown here on screen can give you a better idea of what the glasses are like to use or how they appear to the user. Being absolutely honest with you, there are only 2 differences between the pairs of glasses. The first difference is the electrochromatic film, and as mentioned previously, this sunglasses portion is able to kind of darken and clear itself up with a touch of a button. Although this is not absolutely required to enjoy your content with XR, I would say it is a very quality of life type feature. What I mean by that is even if you have the light versions and the lens shade, you will get a much better experience with your content versus viewing it with the electrochromatic film applied on the non-light. However, in my experience, the lens shade clip-ons are not that sturdy once applied. My first shade lens cover actually that I received from them didn't even stay on properly whatsoever. Even with the replacement sent from the company, which I'm sure they would have done for anyone and not just me, it never felt all too secure and would still come loose at times when kind of just readjusting the glasses. With the electrochromatic film though, although not as blackout as the shade, it is more reliable and on the fly. I don't need to remember to pack it with the glasses or hope that they stay on properly or even ever worry about losing them. Some people won't ever see or appreciate that value, to which I can very much see where they're coming from. So much so that I can't fully recommend the non-lite versions, as that $100 difference will mean something different to everyone else. Even though my brain says the $100 is a waste for just the film, the tech lover and lazy bastard in me would love to find an excuse to spend that $100. Now, before I went off on that tangent, you may remember me saying that there were two differences. Well, the second difference honestly is not as major, but could be perceived as both an advantage and disadvantage. Instead of the magnetic connector found on the Pro version, you get a USB-C input instead. Now, while I can see why they originally went with their magnetic design, some parts may still see the value in it. The move to USB-C, it does allow for at least anyone to get a replacement cable anywhere. Alongside the Lite versions, they did sell a small adapter to attach to the magnetized end of the neckband, converting it into a male USB-C connection, and once applied it can be used with any USB-C based display, glasses or otherwise. Now, you can even go as far as plugging it into the mobile dock and splitting the view of the neckband to two sets of glasses. Now, as for the combined specs of the glasses, we have the same 1080p 60Hz panel per eye with myopia adjustment down to -5. My eyes fall between -2 and -2.5, and the per eye adjustments have been absolutely killer. Compared to my Lenovo glasses, which have no eye correction features, I had to spend just over $200 for a pair of prescription lenses, and my only gripe about this feature is that the dial indicators could have been a little bit more detailed, at least that way you can kind of get a closer approximation of your exact prescription. Either way though, this completely eliminates the need for corrective eyewear when using glasses. Although admittedly the image does appear to be ever so slightly clearer with my Legion glasses in physical prescription, but this is mainly only noticed in kind of super fine text. Moving on from there, there's a 43-degree field of view, contrast ratio of 50,000:1, and claimed 129% coverage of the sRGB space. I don't really have a way of verifying that. They have stereo speakers built into the arms, which are actually pretty okay, and they do kind of directional whatever audio to kind of minimize the output to other people, but it still kind of sounds like a cell phone video kind of being played to other people in the room. Now, they all come in a light weight of 78 grams for the non-lite and 76 grams for the Lite version. The only other physical difference is the shading intensity of the sunglasses. For the Lite, we have 23 optical transmittance, and for the non-lite, it ranges from 3 to 40%. What this means is with a higher number, the more light is allowed through, but when brought down to a lower percentage, the lens will appear more tinted. For one final difference between the two, the lens shades cover is included with the Lite version of the glasses, and with the Pro version, you don't get one at all. Both glasses have the same 3-degree field of movement stuff where like it has the gyro sensors, although it is currently in beta state. This will allow for manipulation of your content, which to my surprise can be done without the neckband at all and processed locally on the glasses. It's far from perfect, but a neat feature to be able to pin your screen in place of your content. Now, one final trick up the glasses sleeves is the support for side-by-side 3D content, presented in a resolution of 3840 by 1080p. This can be activated on the fly with a long press of a button, and while the support for this type of content isn't great, there is a lot of recommended games to try out by the Viture Academy site, as well a detailed guide on how to install a reshade mod that applies the 3D effects to most any game. I did not try any modded methods, but I did play Doom 3 BFG Edition, which has the native 3D support built in, and playing in this mode is kind of similar to the Nintendo 3DS effect if you ever played that. So you don't need to have to like lock your eyes at a certain sweet spot or anything, and while things don't really like pop out at the screen at you, there's just a lot more depth in what you're viewing. For instance, in just tinkering around with Doom, I could tell and appreciate that there was a clear separation depth-wise between the UI and the environment textures. It's super hard to explain, and unfortunately I can't really demonstrate it. However, just imagine that your games will appear much more kind of clear, and the separation of foreground to the background in your content will just be more apparent. So turning it back to the UI when speaking out the crosshair specifically, it will appear as though it is in front of whatever is behind it and not just like kind of painted on over it. If you do get these glasses, I do urge you to give the 3D mode a try, and it was quite a treat, and it did not seem to introduce any sort of motion sickness for me while in use, which was very nice. And lastly, for color options, the non-light come in black or blue, and the light will come in black or white. To answer the question, are they worth it? Well, that's a hard one. Both sets, or even any other set from different companies, are a luxury purchase. And with that being said, in order of what I know of other XR glasses in the space, the Legion glasses would be and are dead last. They lack any sort of meaningful features compared to the competition, and from there it just gets a bit muddy, because the glasses are all mostly using the same displays. However, there are some differences. The Viture ones have a field of view of 43 degrees, which allow for a screen size of about 120 inches. Moving to the X-Ray Layer 2s, with their beam accessory, they have a field of view of 46 degrees, which allows for the 330-inch screen effect. If you were curious, the Legion glasses offer a 38-degree field of view, which in results just a tiny screen. Now, with the X-Ray Air, they do offer a screen size of 130 without their beam accessory. Anything over that will require it. So if you're looking into these glasses or any others, I highly suggest you check out their accessory lineup to see which speaks to you more. Personally, I would be aiming for a pair that allowed for 120 Hz, as I would appreciate that above all else. However, from what I've read from online reviews and stuff, the ROG glasses, they don't seem to be the greatest, so your mileage may vary. If you require corrective lenses, then I would absolutely recommend you get a set with myopia adjustment if you fall within the glasses range. As always though, do your own research and don't just take my word for it. I don't think anyone would have a bad experience with any set of glasses without knowing what they were or weren't missing with other sets. For instance, the Legion glasses were my very first introduction to the space, and knowing before even using them that they were not the greatest set of glasses, I still had a blast using them because I had a phone that supported the DisplayPort out, so I was able to watch my content through that with no issues. For gaming, I wouldn't say I was missing out on much, as both displays are 1080p 60. The only feature compared to the Vitures that I'd be losing would be the 3D mode on the Legion glasses. Now, if I were spending my own money, however, as stated before, I would not get the Legion glasses, unless you could get them for about $100 or so less than what they're listed at. If the Legion glasses had myopia adjustment as well, this would have saved me $200 that I spent on the prescription lenses as well. So if you do require glasses for distance correction, I cannot recommend a pair that don't include the manual adjustments for myopia, because you're just going to be having to spend more money. Now, if you have a prescription that doesn't fall within that range, you're going to have to spend that money anyway. So again, you're just going to have to do your own research, and your purchases is going to be very, very specific to you and your situation. In conclusion, should you buy this pair of XR glasses? More than likely not, unless you think you will get a lot of mileage out of the electrochromatic tinting that couldn't be solved with the included lens shade on the light versions. Then by all means spend the extra bit of money. However, I think for a vast majority of users, the light versions will do just fine, with the added bonus of having a USB-C input instead of the proprietary connection found on the non-lite. Again, please compare your options when looking into getting a set of XR glasses. If I were to be spending my own money, I would likely be steered towards the X-Ray Layer 2s or the X-Ray Air Originals, simply for the 120 Hz refresh rate screen. But the original Airs are now actually on sale, but they don't support myopia adjustments, so my choices would be limited to something like the ROG kids. However, those tend to not review as greatly compared to the competition. At the end of the day, no one set is perfect, far from it. One set could be great for a consumer while being terrible at the same time for another. I don't think you will have a bad experience with any of these glasses if you're using them in their optimal conditions. However, I definitely would be more inclined to steer you towards a company where this kind of technology is their only focus, such as Viture. That's all for this video. If you enjoyed it, please let me know in the comments. If you hated it, I'd love to hear that as well. Now, do you have a pair of XR or AR glasses of your own? I personally have the MetaQuest 2 as well, and honestly, I'm more excited by these types of glasses than where virtual reality has been headed. I've not used my MetaQuest 2 in probably over a year now. Now, if you want to get in touch with myself or any other fellow handheld YouTubers such as Gamers Generation, OKS Gamer, Gaming for Insights, please take a look at our community Discord, link found in the description as well and on screen. Finally, I hope you all have a great day.